So the opening weekend of the Premier League served up so much excitement and the sports 101 team is here live at Red Mango Apartments to dissect all the major talking points. If you're watching us and you want to come to Takrady and you're looking for a place to stay, I could better recommend Red Mango Apartment for you. Great scenery, best rooms, and a wonderful ambience.
Johnson Club, yes, and for me, he needs to be careful. It looks like he's repeating another Oli, because if you look at his record at
35% win percentage in the Premier League
at Aston Villa, shambolic. And even yesterday, I think that the trend continued from last season, and he's carried that form into this season. Lucky, we need to talk about Steven Gerrard.
Yes. He's had a very terrible record at Aston Villa, but I feel that he needs time. You can assess a manager based
from January or through to the end of the season.
You can assess a manager based on what he's doing, the project he's trying to build.
Is he building any project?
I think he is. Listen, he has some quality at Arsenal, at Aston Villa. You look at Matthew Cash, there's Coutinho in there. I feel he's yet to stamp his identity on the team. That is where I always say that teams and managers should know where the team is. Is the team a European caliber team? No. Is the team a mid-table team? No. I think that Aston Villa are probably somewhere around 13, 14 teams.
They've got to accept
when you know where you are. Yes, when you
know
where you are, it would help you build your team. But I think that it's too early to be harsh on Steven Gerrard. Listen, people were bashing Lampard and all of that. You need to go through the mill as a manager. I've loved how he's able to. Coaches who grew up from the midfield mentality, you know that their focus is on the defense and the midfield. And it's very evident in Aston Villa's play. Exactly.
He's gone there.
Well, I am worried because last week we spoke about the fact that some teams were going to be relegated.
And
if you look at Bournemouth had a disastrous season the last time they were in the league. To get the sorts of results they got against Aston Villa, I think that was a big one.
Starting off right is exactly what everybody wants to do.
Exactly.
And Eddie Howe did excellent at Newcastle. Forrest were outplayed, outmuscled.
I told you that, listen, we spoke about how they've strengthened their team, they're very solid side, tight unit, but this is the Premier League. The Premier League will not, it's a totally different, environment from playing in the Championship. Like I said, I wasn't too impressed with the newly promoted sides, especially Nottingham Forest.
Even Bournemouth got a win.
I was also impressed. Everton, is it last season, 2 seasons ago, won 5 games in a row. They were on top of the league by the end of the fifth week. But where were they last season? I do not want us to, be so much excited. Yes, who did they beat? Aston Villa. We are here talking about Steven Gerrard and how he's here to find his identity with this Aston Villa side. So I think that what I am a bit impressed about, or the team that I'm a bit impressed about, is Leeds United. You talk about your...
Well, just before I talk about Leeds United, I think that we need to give a lot of plaudits to Eddie Howe. Listen, to come in and work in a condition under rich owners, that was a good win. Yeah. Under rich owners, I think that it's very difficult, but if you look at the job he's been able to do at Newcastle from last season,
saving them, and then
he's not really spent a lot of money in the transfer. Everybody was expecting Newcastle to break the bank.
He's bought right, rather than spending heavily. He's bought right. He's gone into
but I
areas
think that another manager that needs talking about has to be the Leeds United manager. Jesse March has been absolutely fantastic. Just a couple of days ago, we're talking about the fact that if you probably pick the relegation candidates, we are going to have get the cash flowing. You are going to have some of these teams in there. But I look at how he's been able to build a team post Rafinha, how he's been able to bring in people who are relatively unknowns. I think that the result they got last afternoon or yesterday in the afternoon was absolutely fantastic. And if they're able to, Jesse March has a unique style of playing.
Yeah.
He loves his team to defend properly.
Yeah.
He loves his team to play right.
And how he's able to expand the pitch.
Exactly.
In Saturday's game, the way the wingers use and the fullbacks use the full width of the pitch was amazing.
I think another positive has got to be the inclusion of Patrick Bamford. For large parts of last season, he was absent. But
and
he's got to start
this season. I hope that he's going to stay fit.
Exactly.
If he stays fit, he's going to help the cause of Leeds United. Leeds is one of those traditional sides in the English, Premier League that you'd always want them there because of the crowd, the tradition behind them. I'm trying to imagine Leeds United go to Europe. The euphoria, the excitement is going to come with. Let's see what Jeshiman's
maybe unless they bring in another Rio Ferdinand.
But let's look at Leicester. Yesterday afternoon, took a 2-goal lead and unbelievably, Brentford, Thomas Frank doing exactly what they were doing last season. Rising out of the ashes. Yep. You look at how and Ivan Toney, for me, he's picked up from where he left off.
Well, we can talk about strikers in this league. We spoke about Bamford, we've spoken about Mitrovic, we've spoken about Ivan Toney. Every now and then the cliche has been that, you cannot thrive in the championship, come into the EPL and it repeats that level of form. But if you look at these three players that I've mentioned, Patrick Bamford, you look at Mitrovic, you look at Ivan Toney, I think that they probably are tearing apart some of these scripts that we've written about championship pedigree players. I look at Brentford. There is a sense of character about that team. You understand? And I think it emanates from the manager.
They don't know how to give up.
Exactly.
Manager is a key factor
in that particular.
I have watched Brentford last season come out from the dead in games. Win games very late. And I think that, the manner they did it against Leicester, I honestly think that if you look at what they've been able to do this afternoon.
This is my game.
Really? All right. Let's continue with our football. But Kofi,
well, I think you need to play. You have a Queens there.
In all of that.
You have a Queens there. I just saw your card, man.
in all of this.
Oh.
Fulham.
Wow.
We saw what they did to Liverpool. Do you expect Fulham to stay this time around?
Well, given how they started, I would probably revise my notes. For the past 5 seasons, they've been jostling in and out of the Championship and the Premier League. But this time around, they've got a manager who's grown in leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
Take note, Marcos Silva was the man at the helm of Hull City in the Premier League. He was the man at Everton. And those 2 spells were disastrous.
Exactly.
But he's grown with Fulham. You look at the Championship, you don't play football and qualify to the Premier. It's a different whole. And when I say football in a particular context, they play
one of those teams that
ball-playing teams.
Football.
They excite.
They build from the back
and all of that.
And they are they usually play that what has come to a lot of teams are beginning to adopt a high pressing, aggressive game.
Yeah.
But with Liverpool, you realize that we cannot match Liverpool with this. One thing I saw in that game was that they withdrew. They knew that when the fullbacks of Liverpool in Trent Alexander and Andy Robertson come forward, there is space left in between at their back. So what they were doing is the goalkeeper. If you watch that game, the goalkeeper will get the ball and
floating
hit the ball,
avoid the midfield.
We know the pace of Mitrovic. They were exploiting that very well.
Can we talk about my very good friend, the best centre back ever to have graced the Premiership, Van Dijk?
Well, we've always known
that was a disaster.
We've always known he's not a best of tacklers.
Van Dijk is an expert in defending spaces. He's not a one-on-one.
Have you always wondered
defender.
why he's always running away from it?
That's why I'm saying he defends in spaces. So
that guy couldn't have gone to battle with Napoleon.
Come on, you just pry on. You pry on your strength.
You are being too harsh on Van Dijk.
He knows he's not the best of tacklers.
Every defender and his star, Vidic. There are defenders like Vidic, Puyol, very wild, aggressive. They will bully you, run you down. Defenders like Maldini. Defenders like Van Dijk, they defend in spaces. Even before the ball gets to them, They know where to push you, the attacker.
You look at Thiago Silva himself. He knows.
Exactly.
He knows. He's well aware of the surroundings.
He's very well aware of the surroundings.
You are not a defender for me if you cannot get yourself dirty.
We are being too harsh.
Come on. That's what I think.
The game has evolved.
You're not a defender for me if you cannot get
your
yourself
kind of
dirty.
defender should always go to
Sergio Ramos.
The game
I'll play one back.
The game has
with
evolved.
Sergio Ramos.
The game has evolved over the years so much to the point that defenders is more about you using your head than you use it. It's more that brains than bronze. And I feel back in the days where we had a Catenaccio, Heleno Herrera days where we had a Catenaccio style and all of that. No, the game has now grown to more brains. So as a defender, area awareness, space awareness, that's his strength. If you watch him, he's very good at reading the game. So people think he runs away from attackers or where the ball he usually runs. No,
I think he's good at sending generals to the battle.
Let's not be. But it was a good game for Fulham because I feel that tactically they matched Liverpool. In a way, they neutralized Mo Salah because the rounds of Salah, his dropping the shoulders. And all
they knew exactly how to close out the spaces.
And it was a tactical masterclass. So, like I was saying, listen, I love how this Fulham side, that is a ball-playing side, loves to build from the back, realize that, and in the EPL, that's the thing. You need to plan for every game.
Yeah.
And they are not a Liverpool, they are not a United, they are not a Chelsea. They have deficiencies. So my excitement is seeing that they know how to adapt in games. And I think if they keep this up, we might just see them stay up this time, but I do not know if that's going to happen.
Well, will they bring the same energy to the table when it's a side not Liverpool? That's also
a question for another day.
Exactly.
Maybe, just maybe. But like you said, it's all about planning. Yeah. It's a 30-year game season. Yeah. It's all about knowing how to approach every particular game.
That's a 6, man.
Yeah, I keep winning.
That's a 6. That's a 3. As always, guys, go to our page, comment, like, share, and more importantly, subscribe. My name is Kofi Asiedu.
And I'm Lucky Soglu.
And I'm David Alpha. We'll be back for more.